Gamers, trainers, Pokemon, welcome to another episode of Pokemon's Health. Pokemon meets men's health. I'm here with my guest today, Jeudy. What's good?
What's up? Thank you for having me. I'm Jeudy Azzarelli. I'm a longtime VGC player now. I've been playing since 2010. Feels crazy to even say that, but thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate your time. I'm sure everyone's going to really enjoy hearing from you with your amazing history as a Pokemon player. Before we get into that, of course, want to plug the Discord real quick, guys. We're having a great time in the Discord. Guys are getting support in real life, talking about fitness. Just had a man welcome a baby into his life, and he's always just getting a little support around that. The lead up to it, and it's just beautiful to see guys having these new things happen in their lives and be there for them when that stuff happens, for the support, for the questions, for the hey man, you got this. So if you want some more of that in your life, make sure you hop into the Discord. You'll see the link in the description. We'll go ahead and hop on in with our guy Jeudy. Jeudy, just tell the folks a little bit more about you. How old are you? Where are you from?
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
Yeah, I'm 28. I'm from New York. Uh Currently I just left my Wall Street job like a couple of months back because I actually have a degree in software development, and the idea is by the end of this year I want to start applying for software jobs. I have this degree, I should be using it. But I've been a Pokemon player for as long as I can remember.
Mm.
But I've been playing VGC, the video game championships, for about 14 years. Took a break actually from 2017 to 2023, and came back, and it felt like I never like skipped a beat. But yeah, that's me.
That's awesome. So you just came back during Scarlet Violet, basically.
Yeah. Um, Basically, 2017, I was in college.
Hmm.
I was going through quite a lot, truthfully, and I just stopped playing. Like, I think that one thing that like always kind of stuck with me. You always see people like be like in, especially in gaming spheres, like I'm retiring, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
There was none of that for me. For me, I would always tell my friends, "Yeah, I'll come back to the next event. I'll come back for the next game," and I just never did, and never really felt like I wanted to. I graduated. I was playing Smash Bros a lot during that time too, but I graduated. Was like, okay, I can actually travel. Still didn't go to Pokemon events. Then the pandemic happened, and actually, like everyone, you get reconnected with old hobbies, etc.
Yeah.
So I played in one of the Players Cups. I did pretty good there. Then I told my friends, this time I'll come back for sure. That was a lie. 2022 rolls around. I was like, I don't want to play this. And then Scarlet Violet comes out, and I was originally going to do the same thing, only going to go to Orlando. But I enjoyed Scarlet Violet so much and realized that I'm an adult with free time and money now.
Yeah.
I booked like an impulse trip to the San Diego Regionals. I got top four there, and then I've just been going to events ever since. It's been like a 2 year long snowball, kind of.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's rewind a little bit. Obviously, if I
Yeah.
can ask you, you are just one of the best, often around the top cut in almost any event you participate in.
Yeah.
We know a famous moment that you've had as well, but we want to go
Yeah.
back a little bit to Lil Judy. So you said you remember playing Pokemon your whole life, just getting started. What was your first gen? I'm guessing so 14 years ago. I don't know. Just tell us your story. How did you get started
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Pokemon
Oh, I've
all
been
the way
playing
through?
Pokemon for,
Yeah.
like I said, as long as I can remember. I remember my uncle. My uncle's probably the closest person to me in like Pokemon regard. It got me all my hobbies. Any hobby I like is probably because of my uncle. Collecting,
Nice.
playing Yu-Gi-Oh, etc. All my uncle. But
Oh yeah.
I remember I got a copy of Pokemon Silver, and played it on the Game Boy Color. Uh, and then like I was just hooked from that
Yeah.
moment on. And, like
Can I
Pokemon's
ask real
always been,
quick?
yeah.
Was your uncle like a little bit closer to you in age compared to your parents, or was he just the one providing
Yes.
them, or was he playing too?
He was playing too. We were
Oh yeah.
actually not that far apart. I think like for Uncle and me, it was probably like 8 to like years
Oh
apart, kind
cool.
of.
Yeah.
So like, and I would visit my no a lot. So a lot of weekends we would just be hanging and playing games together.
Mm.
Uh, I think that like he's a big part of a lot of the things I like now. Like a lot of the hobbies I attribute to him, and it's pretty cool. I remember even like as he was getting older and like over it, he just straight up gave me his DS and Pokemon Diamond. And that basically started because then I would in eighth grade, I was very bored. I was a middle schooler. I was like, I'm too cool for school. So of course, I'm about to graduate. So as any too cool for school middle schooler would do is they go on Pokemon.com, and there was like big regionals happening in your area. And there was one like a month from that date, and I showed my two middle school friends, and like I basically begged my mom to take me. And that was my first regional ever.
Mhm.
And that, like I said, just like getting hooked playing Pokemon at 4, I was hooked the moment I went to my first VGC event. And uh it's definitely been an interesting experience. I think that like pretty much shaped my life. I like can't imagine like not playing Pokemon at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's so cool. So cool to get into early. So cool to get inspired by your Uncle Planet.
Yeah.
Obviously, this thing really got its hooks in you and inspired you. Can you speak a little bit more about just kind of your journey from that first competition to your world's appearance?
Yeah, of course. So I like kind of came out firing off like all cylinders, but uh back then I didn't know like you know how there's EV training, IV stuff. I didn't know about
Mhm.
that. I knew about EV
Totally.
training. So I was the kid, like if you ever go on GTS, you would see like that person trading Mewtwo for Mewtwo, Kyogre for Kyogre. That was me. You're like, who's doing this? That was me. Because I was trying to get a modest of each mon. But I basically I'm always been like observant, like what I follow as people do. So I like the moment I found out about VGC, I started watching all the regional finals, started watching all the
Wow.
world's finals. I was already in the deep end,
Mhm.
but I ended up getting top 16 at my first regional. I lost to Aaron Zhang.
Wow.
Uh which is crazy to think about. I found that out like a few years after that. I was like, oh, I was like going through my notes and my opponent's name's Aaron Zhang. I'm like, yo, is this you? Do we play in top 16? And back then you had to play a regionals to get a nationals invite. So I got a nationals
Mhm.
invite. That was in Indianapolis. I remember every single time I got my invite from an event, I'll show my mom the paper. She saw I was in Indianapolis. She's like, that is too damn far. We are not going. And that would be the trend. And next year was Newark again. I brought my same middle school friends, now high schoolers.
Yeah.
Uh, and we would go to Newark. I would get top 8. Top 4 was like travel award prizes. I would show my mom the paper. She was like, "We're not going to nationals. That's too
No,
far."
man.
Um, and I think it's like for me, it's always been like always just getting there. 2012, I would go X1 at both regionals. However, back then there was no top cut.
Yeah.
So top 4 was prizes based off resistance. I'd get fifth at the first regional. The
Oh.
second regional, there was actually a top cut. It was top 4. I got sixth going X1. So basically, that year, no prizes, no nothing. 2013, at that point, also my family's like, yo, we can't keep driving to these tournaments. It's too
Yeah.
much. 2013, my friend's mom was able to drive us to a tournament. No, that was 2012. That's so like this is where my parents are like, yo, this is gonna be a yearly thing. Like, we don't really want to do this. Um,
Amazing.
2013, I would take my first megabus with my close friend that's still middle school friend now in high school. And I remember not knowing anything. I got on this megabus at like midnight because like we have to make the event.
Hmm.
Philadelphia is only a 2 hour ride. So we get there. I remember it's like 3 a.m. And the tournament doesn't start till 8 a.m. And I just remember wandering the streets of Philly as like a 17-year-old because I didn't know like what megabus we should take to make it on time for the regional.
Cool.
And that was like honestly a life-changing experience. I remember having to use the bathroom and we would go from like Wawa to Wawa, place to place. And one Wawa, and this still stuck in my head, is like, I was like, you guys have a bathroom? He's like, we have a bathroom, just not for you.
Oh
And
no.
I remember just like swallowing my pride, like just like peeing in the megabus like parking lot. Worst tournament of my career at that point. I went 5-3. But
Mm.
and then at that point, like my mom was like already like not really wanting to take me to more events. Family wasn't really wanting to take me to events. Actually, in 2012, there was another Philly regionals. What happened was I remember my grandma used her GPS, but she like had it set to no toll road. So this like 2 hour drive became like a 4 or 5 hour drive, and like they're never doing it again too. And that was on them, truthfully. But
Totally.
2014, which is when X and Y came out, we had our first grassroots tournament, and I remember it was in New York, so no qualms to going.
Hmm.
I would bring home a Switch because I won that tournament, and all of a sudden, like the narrative around this gaming stuff changed. I would go
Oh,
to Apex. I would get second at Apex 2014. It was a grassroots there. It was a big Smash tournament back then. Brought home money, and I would use that money. And as I turned 18 finally, I would use that money to like get a bus ticket to go to
mm,
Virginia regionals. And I would just like always finish like X2 or like just losing my winning in. Uh and what would end up happening is like now that I was finally 18, I asked my mom, "Hey, can I go to nationals?" She's like, "If you can pay your way to it, sure." I remember taking a bus with some of my close friends, and I would get top eight at that nationals, and that would be just enough of everything else to get my Worlds invite. Worlds happened to be in DC. That's like back then it was
easy.
literally $1 mega bus.
Nice.
So I was able to get that and that super cheap trip, like everything aligned, and I became a world's finalist. I got second, losing to the most famous Pokemon in VGC, right, Pachirisu.
That man.
Uh, and I think that like that year, like just everything lined up, right? Like I think that
Mm,
like getting just enough to get my Worlds invite. Worlds happening to be in a very cheap place to travel. New York to DC is not expensive.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and that was the rest is like it was history at that point. Like I got brought home this Pikachu trophy, this giant trophy. Everyone was like crazy. It was crazy. And then like I went to college basically the next week after, right? And I was like basically starting my first year college, and it was definitely interesting. But that's my early VGC career.
Dude, that's crazy. That's great. You said that you grew up with the game. I thought you meant like you literally just you played it since you were a kid and grew up. You had some really shaping experiences there, right? Not to
Yeah.
say like the family wasn't supportive. Of course, they were supportive, but they can't drive you
Yeah.
everywhere. Money's a thing. You
Yeah.
went from like just having to suck it up, being so good at the game, which I want to come back to, being so good at the game, like getting great results, but not being able to capitalize just because resources weren't there,
Yeah.
time wasn't there, your own age wasn't there to be able to go by yourself. Another thing that stood out to me was like you said, you kind of hit the ground running right from the jump. And I'm just kind of curious. I think probably the best practice for all of us normal people is to just practice a ton and whatnot. So I'm wondering
Yeah.
like the balance that you had between your just from the beginning, your natural talent, a way to see the board state versus like your research that helped you be better versus the amount of hours you were putting into practice and whatnot. Like what did that look
Yeah.
like
Oh
from
yeah.
the old days through now?
I definitely don't want to shirk and like lie to y'all and say that yeah, I was just like this. I was born. This was all natural, gifted. I was a high schooler, a middle schooler, and that meant that I had unlimited free time.
Mm.
So like my life was especially in high school was uh, school. I ran track,
Nice.
Pokemon, lock in. And so I was able to dedicate so much time uh all throughout that. And then obviously college happened, which is after 2014. And I was able to dedicate like, a lot less time. I didn't even play at any events in 2015 except Nats. I did get top 32, but definitely had a rude awakening. Went 0-3 at that Worlds. 2016, I had to get my Worlds invite. I did like the bare minimum just because again, college is so taxing. Most college would be the reason why I would stop playing.
Yeah.
2017, after 2016, I made day two, got like top 32 or top 64 worlds that year. I basically just stopped going to events. 2017 onward, I did not go to events. Lots of life, lots of college. Fast forward 2023, I'm an adult with a job. Like I said, I worked off Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of my events, uh, I think one thing that really helped me, and especially with VGC, is open team sheet. I was able to like catch up. I didn't have to know what a lot of things did. I would just read the team sheet. Like I think one thing that's great about Pokemon, unlike any other game, unlike any fighting game, unlike any actual like sport, is that there is no like physical or technical aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Anybody can pick up the game. It's just a lot of it is like understanding board states, and that doesn't go away from you no matter how long you play. You'll get rusty and you can like
Yeah.
relearn. And I think that we'll see like I think one of the things that impressed me is that there's so many old players that still play. There's so many new players that continue to play. But a lot of my prep definitely as I got like older, 2023 to 2024, uh I couldn't prep as much because I'm working 9 to 5. It takes like 2 hours for me to get home and I'm
Yeah.
exhausted by the time I get home. Um but it was still important, obviously, to put in prep. I think that one of the things that's beautiful about Pokemon is that it is a collaborative effort. I
Yeah.
think like as you like envelop yourself in the scene, you'll like end up finding your friend group, your team building group, and like there's always someone to bounce ideas off of. So there's so many ways to play and practice the game without necessarily playing the game. There's no like you cannot shirk going on ladder and playing some games. You can't. Unfortunately, that's just not possible.
Yeah.
But a lot of my time, I would work Monday through Friday. One of the ways I got through the work week because I was working on Wall Street, it was an awful job. Uh, just like like I love people I worked with, but like they watched The Wolf of Wall Street once, made it their entire personality.
Oh,
Lots of misogynist, lots of like things that you would hear on a daily that would just like wear me down.
totally.
Um, but a lot of my things was Monday through Friday. I have to work Friday night. I'll take a flight over to any regional. Or literally Friday night, I went over to San Diego. Uh, and that would be my consistent schedule. And so what else happened is, as an adult, I'm going to all these amazing cities. Like I'm going to San Diego. I was just in Baltimore. And I realized something I didn't do when I was younger was actually experience the cities I was in. I was staying in the hotel the entire time. So something I started doing uh was after no matter what happened, we're like literally spending 8, 9 hours in a venue. I would go out. I would do something that night of. So that became like a tradition after at San Diego. I made day two. I went out to grab drinks with some amazing people in the community. And I remember, I think it's like core memory is probably why I still continue is top 32. I sit down on my opponent, in front of my opponent, and I'm just like, look, man, I have like 3 vodka crayons in me, like 4 lemon drop shots. Let's get this game going. And I remember after beating him, it was just like an awkward exchange of like, man, I spent all night prepping for this game and you were out drinking. And I was like, yeah, just sign this, please. And that basically created that's like my trend was like I would like try to play someone I can. I had an amazing team building group. So like
Yeah.
if there were like tournaments where I was slacking, I can watch replays off of them. But work, travel to tournament, get back Monday morning, just go straight to work. I remember San Diego. I took like a red eye and I got back, went straight into my 9 to 5. And that would be my basically my schedule for the next like a year and a half. It'd be like work. If I can afford to not take a day off, I would not take a day off. I'd fly, boom, boom, biddly bop. And it was great. I got my world's invite back, my first year
Yeah.
back. Went to Japan. That's the place I've dreamed of going.
Yes.
Uh, then obviously just I like I said, I've been on like pretty much a 2 year long snowball because San Diego, I got top four. I made like 1K, which is basically already almost as much as I made getting second in 2014 Worlds.
Oh yeah.
So like I
That's
used that
amazing.
money to basically travel to everything, and then like I would keep doing good at tournaments and would basically pay it back. And so like I basically, and especially when I was working, uh, I would have essentially go to these tournaments for kind of free, and I'm honestly truly grateful that I was able to do that.
Mhm.
And um, but yeah, there you can't shirk practice,
Totally.
unfortunately.
Totally.
Uh, and I recognized that back then I was a high schooler with unlimited time, so I was able to
Mhm.
get good or as good as I can be really fast.
Hell yeah. Dude, it's so cool. Such a cool story. Legit, like started from the bottom. Like as a child, started from the bottom. The skill level, of course, was there, but just the way that get into the tournaments, and now it is a thing that's feeding itself. Like what a dream,
Yeah,
to be a very, very competent, powerful Pokemon player, and also to the point where your results are taking care of the travel for this stuff.
yeah.
It's crazy. So cool. And I also wanted to say I really respect you leaving the Wall Street job, due to the principles and whatnot. And to talk misogyny, of course, very important here on the podcast. You know, as is a
Yeah.
way that I, at least as a man, don't want to promote. You know, the misogyny, and when I see a man like looking at it and saying, absolutely, I do not want this around me. I gotta just call out that I got a lot of respect for that, Jeudy.
Yeah, it was definitely a decision I made and got like egged on by some people
Mm-hmm.
because it was just like yeah, it was we had one woman in our entire company. Can you guess
Mm.
what their position was?
Oh God, is it secretary or something?
You know, honestly, not wrong. They were the secretary, HR, payroll,
Oh
every assistant job you could put under the sun wrapped
wow,
in one. And that was our one person. But
man,
yeah, it was just not a healthy environment. The things said would honestly exhaust me, and Pokemon tournaments were like a great escape from
absolutely.
that everyday work grind.
Couldn't be more of the antithesis, honestly. Like, you know, you're there, you're playing a game you love, which I'm sure, like, who should give two shits about their actual opinion, but I'm sure they would have some opinions about that, and obviously we probably won't align with. And then like the inclusive nature of this community, it blows my mind and continues to blow my mind. So it's
Yeah.
interesting juxtaposition, and I love that you are, you know, going for what you've studied, maybe something you're more interested in. Not sure about that, but like
Mhm.
something maybe more in alignment with who you are, and at least you better chances of being around people who are
Yeah.
in alignment with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like truthfully, even when it comes to like IT, I have no passion for it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like said things that happen, but it makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
I love traveling to play Pokemon tournaments. I think a lot of my passion lies in this community. I'm currently a VGC coach. That's
Okay.
also what helped drive my decision to quit my job. Is like I'm already making money doing coaching.
Oh, yeah.
I stream a lot. I've been like trying to get into content creation and basically I also just recognize that it is not like sustainable yet, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
until it is fully sustainable, I'm going to get this IT job. I'm going to make my money. I'm going to not work. I'm not going to work to live. I'm going to live to work, or the opposite. I think is
Working to live. You're working to live.
yeah, yeah, working to live. I am going to work to live.
Yes.
And just enjoy my time. And so if a like comfortable web dev job does that, I will do that.
Oh,
And I think
yeah.
that's where I'm at this point in my life. I'm 28, going on 29. I realize like I have this degree. It makes a lot of money. I just need to do it. And when I do it, I'll be able to support things I love, which is like I think I'm like I always tell people I'm the most boring dating app profile. Things I love are traveling, eating food, and my friends. And so like it's just like you would swipe left on that every time if I put that on a but
Man,
that's
bro.
really I love food so much. I love traveling and I love that I get to eat so many different foods while I travel. So it's like two
Yeah.
things that feed each other.
Is
So
Pokemon not on your dating app?
I don't actually use dating apps at the moment.
Okay, okay. That I
Yeah.
actually I prefer that too. I prefer that approach. But I was just curious. I'm just like, dog, you put that on your dating app and you going find the one. I bet.
I do put I travel. I when I did use it was like I do travel the world to like play video games. And
Hell
like
yeah.
if they want to find out more, they can always yap about it later.
True, 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 true. That works. That works. I love it, dude. Let's slide the conversation in the masculinity direction.
Yeah.
I know a lot of this stuff can actually tie in even. But today I'll ask, what does being a man mean to you?
Huh. I actually don't know. Truthfully, I think
Mm,
I'm probably all like far in the direction of like I just don't really think much about it. I think that like for me, everyone's an individual. I think like everyone's on like the same playing field. Like obviously not like because there are like there's still lots of like misogyny and like racism, but like I think that like I've kind of shed most like toxic like masculinity like traits, etc. Like I have my own issues obviously, but I don't really think about like I'm never gonna be like worried about like oh, a guy should be doing this, this, and that, right? The only thing I think I should be doing is making money and traveling and like enjoying my life. But like when it comes to stuff like clothes, I thrift from like the women's section as well as I thrift from the men's
oh
section.
yeah.
So like I've never been like had a problem with that. So like it's a really hard question to answer because like I don't really know myself, you know?
Oh, dude, I think that's a perfect answer. And I should probably put this out there for people. And it's like I have literally no expectation for what you're gonna say
Yeah.
when I ask the question about manhood, because the manhood I believe in is the one that is like yours. It's just like I don't really think about it in things that I like have to do to fit into this man box. Like literally call it
Yeah.
the man box. Fuck the man box. Like, you know what I mean?
Like I've seen the stuff that people DM my friends. Like I think if that's being a man, I think I'll pass for a minute.
Totally, totally,
Uh,
dude. If that shit is being a man, I also pass as well. I love your answer because it allows for your joy. It allows for, I think, I mean, it just, I'll say love because you just like believe in people just being able to just be people, you know? I
mhm.
think it allows for your own joy and it allows for your respect to the world and how others are living their lives. That is a perfect definition. I wish more people would say it, even, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I
I think there
guess
can
yeah.
be, yeah, go for it, go for it.
No. I was gonna say I think it's just kind of like very fluid, right?
Yeah,
And like different strokes for different folks, right? And one day maybe
absolutely.
you want to feel like manly man and stuff, right? Like I don't know, do whatever you need to do, man. Whatever
Totally.
makes you happy.
Absolutely. Do whatever makes you happy. I love the, like, if you do have like a thing that makes you feel like, quote unquote, makes you feel like a man or whatever, like that's super dope. And I think
Yep.
that, you know, you mentioned the toxic masculine qualities. I think that like there's a lot of that is pretty well defined, and you know
Hmm.
it may be attached to toxic masculinity, but it's also probably what a lot of people, no matter who you are, don't necessarily want to be doing. And we see a
Yeah.
lot of it from guys, which is why we call it what do we call it. Had there been times in the past where you felt like you weren't living up to, we can call it like society's standard, the toxic masculine standard of being a man, and it made you feel a certain way about yourself?
Um, I feel like the most I think like going from high school to college,
Mm,
one of the things I realized is like I didn't really know I think this is actually also the only like the first I guess the only time I got rejected was also like I got rejected by my prom date after. And the reason was like you didn't ask, you like took too long to ask, right? I've been waiting for you to ask for so long.
mm,
And it was like interesting, but I think the resolution I decided to make is going into college, I decided I will be more outgoing, and
yeah,
I'll put myself out there more because I did spend like everyone was cool with me, but like I was never like really close friends with like pretty much anybody except like I had like my group, but like I wish I was more outgoing. I wish I like knew more about just people in general and like put myself out there. So uh my thing was I'll be more outgoing, right? And I went to college and I put myself out there. I was actually the president of my college's international club. I cultivated a pretty amazing group of friends that became like my Smash Bros friends, and I went out more. I did so much that like I think like the person that I was in high school compared to the person I was in college compared to the person I am now are all three different people. And I think that they were all like basically like made out of okay, I need to like change an aspect of my life. Because like I just wasn't feeling enough. But like I've never had like a moment where I felt like emasculated or anything to where I needed
yeah,
to change something.
got it,
So yeah.
got it. Like maybe it just tying it back to, and it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like a masculinity
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
but it's great that you didn't feel emasculated. What I can see in it is maybe like a, you know, if a more mature person is more outgoing, or maybe more confident or more straightforward or something along
Yeah.
those lines. And you know, in your next step in your growth as a human, as being the human you wanted to grow up to
Hmm.
be or whatever, you know, kind of had that tough moment, but it was a trigger to inspire you to take that next step in your growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds like real to me, and it's actually it's just like we go through pain all the time, and it
Yeah.
sucks. It fucking
No,
sucks.
yeah, yeah.
It sucks. But when we can reflect on that the thing that happened, the thing that caused the pain, and it's like, okay, this
Yeah.
now I can transform this into me changing into that next level. You going out to be the president of the club. You said a club, it was
Yeah.
a club, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the international club in foreign student affairs I worked with.
yeah, that's crazy. And you just were
Yeah.
like, I want to be outgoing, and you just went for it. That was it.
It was that one was definitely interesting. It's actually why I want to go to Brazil so badly. I remember that year when I became president, Brazilian students loved me. And but like they would never go to any club meeting except when it was time for election. Like the entire student body came and like they all came to vote for me and I cried. I remember like this is like
Wow.
insane that they did that. But yeah, and I think that like obviously there and when you said like there's still like so much, and obviously I won't get like deep into it, but like it's just been like a really rough year for me too. And like
Mm.
I think something I did, which is like, and I kind of neglected a lot of really close friendships. I actually for the second half of or for most of summer, I left to the West Coast. I was dealing with a pretty big breakup, but also just like really depressed and like not really happy in myself.
Yeah.
Um and I just like left for a bit, and obviously, still dealing with like I think I'm also feeling VGC burnout right now.
Hmm.
Uh, and like also just like making sure like my like friend groups are good because I did leave New York for like I'm actually back in New York. I've been in New York for like not even a month yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's still a lot. And I think that like there's always going to be something, right? Everyone's going through something in their life. And like, like high school, I was like not feeling outgoing. I think even in like college, I was feeling a little too happy go lucky. And then I think that's in college is where I uh, got most in tune with understanding how the importance of mental health. Uh,
Yeah.
and honestly, I think every like experience has shaped me to be the person I am now. And I do love who I am now. So like, there's a lot that I wouldn't even change, even if I did feel like some type of way in that moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, I yeah, just really feeling connected with you right now, feeling your heart, man. I just want to shout you out for who you are right now. You should be very happy with yourself. You're a good dude. Can I ask maybe so we usually slide into mental health at this point in the pod.
Yeah.
Just maybe any, you mentioned a more recent struggle, maybe something in the past. Can you tell us a
Hmm.
little bit about how you kind of moved through the struggle, whether it's concluded or not?
Yeah. I think like I mentioned, I quit VGC in 2017, right? It was mostly one travel. I went to college, middle of state, no flights, no nothing. Super bad travel. But I was
Yeah.
also in a really, really unhealthy relationship at that point.
Mhm.
And it got to the point where, and I think this is also where, I'm only now, getting into web dev again. Basically, this relationship, uh, I by the end of this relationship, I would have failed my final class 2 times. I had to stay in college an extra year, failed my internship. Lots of things. I had like a no contact order with this person. Uh, I like had to go to like forced couples therapy, like lots of things, and like it had like lasting ramifications on my life to a point where like when I finally graduated, I kind of felt inept at the degree that I got. I kind of felt like an empty degree, and I basically was like, okay, I'll take a break. I'll figure out if like software development is something I really wanted to do, and then the pandemic happened. And basically I had this like period where I also was able to stall that part of my life for 2 years. And then obviously things were like coming back and like I still didn't really know. That's kind of how I ended up walking off Wall Street for like a year and a half, right? And like now, and it's taken a long time. Like 2017 was like 7 years ago. And it was only like now, like it started first, I had like application anxiety, feeling like I can't apply to nothing. I don't know anything. I got over that. I'm well over that now. But now it's just like, okay, now I need to relearn my skills. But like the thing with IT that's beautiful is like it doesn't really go away, kind of similar to like playing Pokemon. It doesn't go away.
Nice.
Um,
You
but
got the right
yeah, I
fields.
think 2017 like obviously really shaped a lot of me and like a lot of things that I loved. I just stopped doing. I stopped going to Pokemon tournaments. I like stopped doing a lot, and I'm grateful to be 28 now. Was 27 when I started playing again, 26, 27. And I'm grateful that I'm still able to do these things, right? And I think that like there's never too late to do something that you want to do.
Absolutely.
And I think that like by the end of this IT journey, it's also going to be like similar there, where like I got my degree 2019. That's 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's not too late to use that, right? It's not too late to like learn that skill again. But it has been a lot, even like now, with my recent situation, I am going to therapy. Uh, and and like I said, there's always something, but life keeps moving on. You have to keep going. I think one thing I learned is that life doesn't stop for nothing. And it sucks because you there are so many days where you want to like not do anything, right? And I think that like even doing one like something that even furthers your goals by 1% is enough. And like
Um,
you just have to keep moving. It's been a time. It's been an interesting last half year, I'll say that.
Absolutely. Yo, oh, thanks so much for sharing all of that. So good. The 1% thing, I love that. Trying to get a whole goal done or everything, the tallest of orders for the day can be so
Yeah.
much on those days where you don't want to do anything. 1% is super digestible, I think. And even
Hmm.
a little bit of grace for yourself on those days where it's like, yo, nothing's getting done today. Like you can eat those sometimes too. I think
Hmm.
is a great thing to just consider for all of us. And I think a lot of us get stuck on, oh, if it's not everything, it's nothing, which is not true.
Yeah. It's
Another
not.
thing I really heard a lot from you there is the willingness to pivot. Willingness to say this is not the path. Let me, make that pivot and just being able to be flexible with where you
Yeah.
want to go and how it looks to get there can be so important for us.
Yeah, I think even like now like I recognize that like studying is still something that's like annoying to me because like I don't you don't want to do that sometimes. You don't want to wake up
Yeah,
sometimes do that. But and like if those are days where I don't do that, there's always something else to work on, right? There's always another route. I think something I've been doing as of recent is actually I have like this like little like oh you can't see it's
oh,
blurred out, but it's like a
yeah,
checklist.
oh yeah,
Very cute checklist. And I have stuff like this was from 918, which say it's been 2 days. I had to make a new one. But the first thing was picnic, went on a lovely picnic with a very close friend.
yeah,
Uh upload video, check that off. Had like
yeah,
this auto chess Pokemon tournament I was doing,
nice.
played some of that. Also had streamed it, which is like the first time I streamed something. I was at VGC. Had
Mm,
like some shopping essentials like I needed to get, like I needed a new shower loofah, etc. And the last thing is finished script, which is a YouTube video. And even though I didn't complete it on this list,
yeah,
it'll just go on to my next day.
mhm,
If it's something I feel like I want to do this day, and if it's not, I'll just like hold it and tally it. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm putting these all in a box just to like see my progress
wow,
uh throughout like this like nine what today is 9:20. I think I have a coaching session at 9, so even like events like this would have been like this interview
yeah,
would be on this 9:20. Let's just like check off because you have done something, even if it's something small and not progress. Like studying isn't on this, right? And
yeah.
that's okay because I recognize also like the amount of time that I'd have throughout the day was going to be so little. I spent most of it at that picnic. So like today, I think like after this, I'll probably do a little bit of studying. I'll want to finish that script. Might stream, have a coaching session, but even if I don't get through all of them, I'm proud of myself for getting through some of them, right? And
Hell yeah,
that's something I've been doing. Wish like the filter wasn't like so. Actually, I could probably just because I think this is hold up. This
what
is
student?
such a cute I bought
I
this like
oh
a minute ago
snap
from one of my favorite artists, the
with
Foy
Coco.
Coco. And it's funny because it's a grocery checklist. And when I show my friend, she was like, what are you shopping for? What are you going groceries for? I'm like, no, this is for my day. This is for my day.
It's so good, dude. That's
Uh
amazing. That's such a great tip. I've never heard that and I might want to adopt it. That's amazing.
yeah, yeah, no. It's definitely helped me. And like I said, there are days where I still don't do nothing. And like that's like
Mhm.
okay. I think obviously one thing I remember is like had like I knew about what would happen like after I quit my job. I would wish I had that just so that
Mm.
uh I could have had something to keep me distracted.
Yeah.
But I think that that was fine that I didn't have that. And like I did spend a lot of those days crying. So like even though I quit my job actually for my birthday, it was like one of my birthday presents. Birthday's
Yeah.
in March. It's now September. But it's not too late. Like
6 months.
yeah, it's only been 6 months. And I think that like the fact that I'm still doing it and still going into it, there will be a time where I feel comfortable applying for jobs and I'll get that job. I'll be able to travel and eat all the food that I ever want. And it'll be
Yeah.
pretty good. I'll go to tournaments too. Like,
Oh
oof.
yeah.
I'm feeling tournament burnout though. I'm not going to another tournament until like maybe November at this point though.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Just that
Ooh.
time. Just that time to
Yeah.
kind of rest.
Hawaii to Baltimore was literally like 3 weeks. It was not
Oof.
enough time
Yeah.
uh for me, I feel. And I think like I mentioned, I've been on this 2 year long snowball from 2023
True.
to now. And the burnout, like I mean, it doesn't affect my play. I think I'll always be one of the best players, and like I think I'll always eventually win a tournament.
Oh yeah.
That'll come as long as I keep playing. I'll keep having opportunities. That's never the problem.
Yeah.
But I think that like I was definitely, especially this tournament in Baltimore, I literally could not figure out a team. I've been having like a really bad team building block. I feel like I've been like unhelpful in team building groups. I've been like basically
Mm.
like leaning on my friends a lot. And this event really didn't have like a friend that was going that I would use their team. So I was pretty on my own and I just literally spent my entire prep doing anything but play Pokemon and
Yeah.
or play VGC at least. And I remember the day before I sent like three different teams to my team builder. He made all three. I feel so bad.
Yeah.
He was stuck with the last one. Got top 32, but like that didn't change. I I recognize that I need to take a break from
Totally.
playing VGC, at least going to VGC events. So I'm taking this break now. I won't be going to an event till maybe Sacramento or Toronto. I missed Louisville's registration. Didn't feel anything about it. I'm like, this is probably a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so
I'm
yeah,
bummed. I was gonna see if you wanted to go out after. Damn.
I would still pop out to go out, but I think I should take a break and
Take
like
that break. Take that
I'll
break.
co-stream it.
No, I
uh,
hear you, dude. It's good to recognize. Like I definitely hear your confidence in your play, but like there's other connections to the game that's important. Like
yeah,
knowing the team, wanting to create the team, being able
yeah,
to create it and adjust it how you need. It's better off to be refreshed if you're gonna keep this success up.
yeah. I think if there's one thing I can even say, right, is just like at the end of the day, this isn't a sustainable esport unless you're like Wolfie or like Marcos
Yeah.
that makes like YouTube videos. And I dream of the day that this is sustainable, that someone can just say, I'm a BGC player, I travel to
Yeah.
play Pokemon. But I think that it's a hobby, right? It's a hobby first. And I think that it's a privilege second, right? Privilege first
Totally.
too, right? And like where I'm lucky to be 28 and play this game that I grew up with my entire life.
It's inspiring, man. Inspiring. Can I ask one more Pokemon question?
Yeah.
What about Pokemon itself, the game itself, makes you happy? How's it contributed to your happiness?
Yeah, I think I just there's just so much potential. I think I remember like there's so many avenues to get into the game, right? Like I have a bunch of cards lying around because I
Oh
won
yeah.
uh I got top 32, so I got a bunch of booster boxes I've been opening. And it was
Yes.
just so many things for everyone. I think the most beautiful thing about Pokemon is that it's an amazing conversation starter. Everybody knows Pikachu. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you've played Pokemon once or just saw the anime and saw the Yellow Road, and everybody that has an experience. I think that's so beautiful and how it connects people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that is why I also love VGC. I wouldn't play like Smog on singles because I can't go to events and meet these people that love the
Yeah.
same game that I do. And it is like a third space in a way, going to these events and meeting so many lovely people. Uh, so I think like right now, like later in life, it's community. Earlier, it's just like a creative outlet. Like I remember freaking role playing with cards and like creating stories for them like when I had like a booster pack, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
uh like it was also a competitive outlet. I'm a very competitive person. I ran track. Uh I literally will like if I play a game, I will lock into that game. I played Smash for 7 years. like as soon as I entered college to like basically I stopped playing once I started getting back into Pokemon because you can't really balance those two out.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, like a lot of my has always been something in my life to like outlet like competitive energy, and I think that right now it's like Pokemon's perfect for that.
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go. I love it in you, dude. I feel like that's a big piece of it for me and why I'm grateful to be able to play as an adult and like, have resources, not go everywhere, but to, get to a lot of these things and whatnot.
Yeah,
And it's feels just as good. It's a little different when your body's not the one doing it necessarily, but it feels
yeah.
like when you get like into one of those moments, it feels just as good as like being on the field or on the track for me.
Yeah, and like yeah, that's the thing is like you don't like people don't understand Pokemon like playing at these tournaments is mentally taxing. It is exhausting. You're
Facts.
there for like 8, 9 hours. Each round is an hour. You're
Mm-hmm.
using so much mental energy. You're burning so many calories just sitting your ass down. It's
Hell yeah.
crazy.
It goes crazy. It goes crazy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Last one for you, brother.
Yeah.
Imagine that you got a guy out there struggling to get through the day. What might you say to encourage him?
Um, it's kind of like lame, but it does get better, right? I think that like, think about like you and like the frame of your life and like all the things that you've gone through that you thought that you wouldn't get through, right? I think like it gets better, right? Like even if your problems are small back then, they keep getting bigger. You still get through them, right? Like my problem back when I was younger is that I couldn't travel to freaking bigger tournaments because they were too far away. And then like obviously as I got older, I got into something that like honestly ruined my mental health. But that was now what 7 years from now. I'm look back on that and being like, wow, that really shaped and ruined my mental health. But we're still here. And like even now I'm going through so much, but I know that one day I'll be able to look at this and know that I made it through it, right? Like one day I will, and you can too, right? And I'm not gonna ever minimize anybody's problems. So I believe in you guys, truly.
Mm. Well spoken, Jeudy. Dude, I really appreciate your words. I appreciate the vibe. I appreciate this appreciate and just not just appreciate, inspired by like for real, dog. The journey that you've gone on. It's so cool. People do not get to, you know, play this game they love, have some skill at this game they love, and then like achieve success so thoroughly. So
Yeah.
inspired, but by what you've done, and you're such a dope dude. Thanks for being on and sharing your knowledge with the people.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was a lovely time, truly.
Mm. Peace out, man.
Peace out.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you give it a like, subscribe, or share with someone who you think might get something from the podcast, from the message. My goal is to get this in front of every guy who could possibly need it so they can not only feel better, but do better and be better for the world.